On the finishing side, we use hardware solution architects to better understand what the customer wants to do. If they want to leverage current equipment that's already installed, or they want to leverage some older equipment and put it online to our new equipment, which, by the way, is pretty common. You could take some of the older pieces, like buckle folders as an example, and put them online to new pieces of equipment without too much of a problem. So we want to make sure we completely understand the requirements, and then we look at the solutions on the marketplace, and we go to a number of vendors to do that. And just recently, as an example, we made a proposal to a book printer, and we gave them, believe it or not, 6 different options for finishing, including multiple vendor selections on the finishing side, whether they're traditional plow folding or buckle folding or cut sheet or book blocks or you name it, and we basically proposed it. So they had an idea of what kind of solution they would like. And it's interesting that when you take that approach with a customer, they want to look at it from their perspective, because traditionally in that marketplace, they're used to maintaining their own equipment. So if you can afford a solution that they're used to using and you can combine the right pieces, they appreciate that effort that you make to do that. For different size book printers, depending if it's cut sheet or continuous, you can propose more traditional things that we've used in the past. So we now spend quite a bit of time using solution architects to bring those pieces together to give them the right solution. That's, for us, has worked really well.
Yeah, Rick?
Well, we are always at work with our finishing partners to try and come up with ways to optimize book production. After all, it's not a book until it goes through finishing, so it's a key part of what our clients do. I still see that we probably, in the book printing community anyway, have about an equal split between people who've remained in a nearline environment versus those that go fully inline. And I think a lot of it has to do with the print volume and the kind of work that the client is doing. When you do inline finishing, you combine the downtime opportunities of the two different systems, which sometimes has a quite negative effect on production. But when you separate them and you have nearline finishing, you don't have the level of control over delivery and automation, et cetera. So to me, it's still a key part of the process. We're hard at work with our finishing partners on continuing to refine the solution. But for those that we've been successful with out in the field, a number of them represented here in the room today, it's been a learning curve for both of us, working together, improving the way that the machines or the systems operate or interoperate together. So continue to make progress there.
Okay.
From HP's side, I mean, since day one, our basic premise has been that the press and the finishing is really an integrated unit unless you buy a roll-to-roll press. And so we go through a pretty rigorous certification process with all of our finishing partners. The products have to be installed in Corvallis, San Diego, or in one of our European locations and tested. And it's not a short period. It does take some work from both sides, and before it's released out to the market, it has to be certified and validated. You know, one of the ththings that we go through, we announced at Drupa that we were going to run 800 feet a minute black, and it was only really released at Print 13 last week, and part of the reason for that was to make sure that all of our finishing partners were up to speed and could handle the speed at 40 inches wide at 800 feet a minute when we released it. So HP is very cognizant of that and is working hard to make sure that you don't have this great press sitting there and it can't run because the finishing won't keep up.
Okay.
Yeah, from a RICO standpoint, day one we started the program, really what we call our consultants or solution consultants, and they go in and do a pre-readiness study with any customer when they get in the sales cycle to go look at what their needs are. And similarly, we look at, can we utilize current equipment, using it, offline, nearline, or do they want inline? We try to optimize what they've got already, or if they want something different. To date, I mean, just alone with the engine configurations, with the 3 platforms, we have over 50 configurations that are available to customers. And then when you multiply that by the multiple, and we do qualify all the pre and post and finished equipment too and test it, 5 different suppliers with multiple, there's thousands of combinations. So we do test that. We utilize partners in that testing, and we try to be on the leading edge of offering unique, innovative solutions. I mean, at Print 13, we showed the Zero Splice TechNow unit. I mean, it's going to be available for everybody, but we've been working with them to come up with a unit that you could do auto roll changing. We know that today for roll continuous forms, probably the biggest operator task today or waste of time is changing rolls, and it can vary. You can depend on here different numbers, but it varies between 7 to 15 minutes to change a roll of paper probably. And to save that time, as the presses get faster and faster, having a zero roll change and an ROI that can do that and save that amount of time and keep the press operational was something that wasn't in the market yet that was economical. So TechNow and us, we worked together. We demoed it 2 weeks ago in Chicago, and that was kind of one of the new innovative solutions. But we do test it, we do qualify it for our servicing, and today we have probably, when you look at all the configs, all the different pre, post, and finishing, there's probably thousands of combinations of what we can support.